The Cold War 19,471,991. The Cold War 19,471,991 was a period of intense geopolitical tension between the United States, U.S., and its allies, representing the capitalist Western Bloc, and the Soviet Union USSR, along with its satellite states, embodying the Communist Eastern Bloc. This rivalry profoundly influenced global economic developments, shaping policies, institutions, and economic relations worldwide. Capitalism vs. Communism. Economic competition. 1. Capitalism. Market-driven competition. Capitalism is an economic system defined by the private ownership of the means of production and the creation of goods or services for profit. Central to capitalism is the principle of free market competition, where individuals and businesses operate in a largely unregulated environment. In this system, prices, production, and distribution are primarily determined by the forces of supply and demand, fostering an atmosphere where innovation and efficiency are highly prized. In a capitalist economy, competition acts as a catalyst for progress. Businesses endeavor to outperform their rivals by enhancing product quality, reducing costs, and developing new products or services. This drive for competitiveness can lead to significant technological advancements, robust economic growth, and a wider array of choices for consumers. Moreover, capitalism incentivizes individuals to work diligently and take entrepreneurial risks, thereby contributing to overall economic dynamism and resilience. In summary, capitalism promotes a competitive environment that drives innovation, efficiency, and economic growth. It encourages individuals to strive for success and rewards entrepreneurial efforts. However, without appropriate regulations, capitalism can lead to significant inequalities and environmental harm. Balancing the benefits of market-driven competition with measures to address its inherent flaws is essential for creating a sustainable and equitable economic system. 2. Communism. Centralized planning and equality. Communism, as envisioned by Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels, is an economic and political system advocating for the collective ownership of the means of production. In a communist society, the absence of private property aims to eliminate class distinctions, ensuring that wealth and resources are distributed based on need rather than market forces. Unlike capitalism, where economic competition drives efficiency and innovation, communism replaces this with centralized planning. Here, the state dictates production targets, resource allocation, and distribution mechanisms, seeking to align economic activities with communal goals rather than individual profit. Under communism, the elimination of private profit motives is intended to foster cooperation and solidarity among individuals. By removing economic competition, communism aspires to create a classless society where all members contribute according to their abilities and receive according to their needs. This approach aims to address the inequalities and exploitative dynamics inherent in capitalist systems, promoting social justice and collective welfare. Theoretically, communism seeks to create a harmonious and just society by ensuring that economic activities serve the common good, thereby eliminating poverty and reducing social tensions caused by economic disparities. In summary, communism seeks to create an equitable and just society through collective ownership and centralized planning, aiming to eliminate class distinctions and ensure that resources are distributed based on need. While its theoretical goals address significant issues inherent in capitalist systems, such as inequality and exploitation, the practical implementation has frequently fallen short. resulting in economic inefficiencies and authoritarian governance. The fundamental differences in how economic competition is perceived and managed highlight the contrasting visions of capitalism and communism, each with its own set of strengths and challenges. Deep global economic developments during the Cold War. 1. Bipolar economic world order. The Cold War established a bipolar economic structure, with the US and USSR promoting contrasting economic systems: capitalism and socialism. Each superpower sought to expand its economic model to gain political influence and demonstrate superiority. Capitalist economies emphasize private ownership, free markets, and consumer goods, while socialist economies focused on state ownership, centralized planning, and heavy industrialization. 2. Economic aid and reconstruction. One of the earliest economic initiatives was the Oswald Marshall Plan. 19,481,952, which provided over $12 billion, equivalent to approximately $130 billion today, in economic assistance to Western European countries. This aid aimed to rebuild war-torn economies, prevent the spread of communism, and create markets for American goods. In contrast, the USSR established COMECON, Council for Mutual Economic Assistance, in 1949 to coordinate economic activities among Eastern Bloc countries, fostering economic interdependence within the communist sphere. 3. Arms race and economic strain. The Cold War was marked by a significant arms race, with both superpowers investing heavily in military technology and nuclear weapons. This competition diverted substantial resources from civilian sectors, leading to economic strain. In the U.S., defense spending spurred technological advancements, but also contributed to budget deficits. The USSR, despite achieving rapid industrial growth, struggled with economic inefficiencies and resource allocation, ultimately contributing to its economic decline. 4. Formation of international economic institutions. The Cold War era saw the strengthening of international economic institutions, aimed at stabilizing the global economy and preventing conflict. The International Monetary Fund (IMF) and the World Bank, established in 1944, played crucial roles in providing financial assistance and fostering economic cooperation among member states. The General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade (GATT), later succeeded by the World Trade Organization (WTO) in 1995, promoted international trade by reducing tariffs and eliminating trade barriers, predominantly benefiting capitalist economies. 5. Decolonization and economic impact. Post-World War II, decolonization led to the emergence of numerous newly independent states, many of which found themselves caught between the U.S. and USSR for economic and political support. 6. Technological competition and economic growth. The Cold War spurred significant technological advancements as both superpowers sought to outpace each other. The space race, highlighted by events such as the Soviet launch of Sputnik 1957 and the U.S. Apollo moon landings 1969, not only demonstrated technological prowess but also stimulated investments in science, education, and innovation. 7. Global trade and economic alliances. Economic alliances and trade blocs were influenced by Cold War dynamics. The U.S. promoted organizations like the Organization of American States (OAS), and later supported the creation of the North American Free Trade Agreement (NAFTA) to strengthen economic ties within the Western Hemisphere. Meanwhile, the Soviet Union, sought to integrate Eastern Bloc economies through COMECON, ensuring that trade and economic policies aligned with socialist principles. These alliances reinforced the economic divisions of the Cold War. 8. Non-aligned movement and economic independence. The non-aligned movement NAM, established in 1961, comprised countries that sought to remain independent from the U.S. and Soviet spheres of influence. 9. Economic decline and the end of the Cold War. By the 1980s, the economic disparities between the U.S. and USSR became stark. The U.S. experienced robust economic growth, technological innovation, and increased global trade, while the Soviet economy faced stagnation, inefficiency, and mounting debt. 10. Conclusion. The Cold War significantly shaped global economic developments through the promotion of divergent economic systems, massive arms spending, and the establishment of international economic institutions. The competition between capitalism and socialism drove technological innovation and influenced trade patterns, while decolonization and the non-aligned movement added layers of complexity to global economic relations.